Hi, this is Emily Chrysanda, and I'm going to approximate the definite integral using basic geometrical shapes. To find g of 6, use basic geometrical shapes. Use a rectangle, a trapezoid, a triangle, and a semicircle, which are already drawn, and then find the area of each and add them. So the area of a rectangle is just base times height, so that's just 2. The area of a trapezoid is 1/2 b1 plus b2 times height. So the base is just 2, and then b1 is 2, and b2 is 5. So that's just 1/2 times 2 times 2 plus 5. So it ends up just being 7. Then the triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base is 1, the height is 5, so 5 times 1/2 is just 5 halves. And the area of a semicircle is 1/2 pi r squared. The radius is 1, and so that would just be 1/2 times pi times 1, which is just pi over 2. So then to find the area of the total graph, to find g of 6, g of 6 is the area of each combined. So that would be 2 plus 7 plus 5 halves plus pi over 2. And that ends up being 23 halves plus pi over 2. G of 6 equals, and that is your final answer. Here we go. For this problem, you're finding g of -3 and g of 4 if g of x is the integral from 0 to x of f of x dx. So for this problem, you're using geometrical shapes. You're using a triangle, a rectangle, actually using 3 triangles and a rectangle. So the triangles are here, there's a rectangle here, triangle there, and a triangle there. So first to find g of -3, so g of -3 would equal the integral from 0 to -3 of f of x dx. But to find that, all you do is you flip the integral, so it equals negative integral from -3 to 0 of f of x dx. And then you just find the area of the triangle, and that's g of 3, -3. So the area of the triangle is 1/2, so it equals 1/2, or negative in the front, times base, which is 3, times height, which is 2. So that ends up being that g of -3 equals 3. Actually, it equals -3 because of the negative in front. Okay, and then to find g of 4 with a triangle in the bottom half, right here, all you do is you do the same thing. You just find the area of the triangle, this triangle, this rectangle, and this triangle. Although this triangle, the area is going to be negative because it's in the 4th quadrant. So the area of this triangle is base times height, which is 2. Or that rectangle, the area of this triangle is 1/2 base times height, so 1/2 times 1 times 2 is just 1. And the area of this is 1/2 base, which is 1, and times height, which is -2, so it's just -1. So g of 4 equals 2 plus 1 minus 1, so g of 4 equals 2. So you found that g of 4 equals 2 and g of -3 equals -3. And that's your final answer for this problem. This question asks how many people arrive at a certain amusement park ride between t equals 0 and t equals 5. The word problem states that there are 700 people in line for a popular ride when it begins operation in the morning, and it accepts passengers from when the park opens to 8 hours later. And while there is a line, people move onto the ride at a rate of 800 people per hour. The graph shows the rate r of t at which people arrive at the ride throughout the day. We are trying to find how many people arrive at the ride between t equals 0 and t equals 5. To find this, we will take the integral of this graph to take the integral of r of t dt. So that would be integral r of t dt. This is time, and this is r of t. And it would be from 0 to 5, because t equals 0 and t equals 5. To find this, use the area of geometric shapes. Use a rectangle and 2 trapezoids. They are right here, and here, and there, because you're only going until time equals 5. So the area of this first trapezoid is, yet again, it's 1/2 height times b1 plus b2. The height is 2, so 1/2 times 2 is just 1. And then you multiply that times base 1, which is 1,000, and b2, which is 1,200. So it would just be 1,000 plus 1,200, which is 2,200. And then for this one, yet again, it's 1/2 times height, which is just 1 because it's 1/2 times 2. So then it's just B1, which is 1,200, plus B2, which is 400. So that makes 1,200 plus 400 is 1,600. And then the area of this rectangle is just base times height. So base is 1, height is 400, so the area is 400. And then the amount of people that arrived at the ride between time equals 0 and time equals 5 would just be 2,200 plus 1,600 plus 400. So that is just 2,200 plus 1,600 plus 400 equals, and 2,200 plus 1,600 plus 400 is the same as 2,200 plus 2,000, so it equals 4,200 people. And that is your final answer, 4,200 people.